Sir, you
Good
were
morning.
saying something?
Good morning, sir. Hello,
Santosh, you can
everyone,
start.
and thank you, sir. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Santosh Saha, and I am an assistant professor at Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, Siliguri. Today's webinar is on data analytics, and today's speaker is Mr. Sudhir Kumar Becha from IBM. Mr. Sudhir is a postgraduate from the branch of Industrial Engineering from Anna University, Chennai. Mr. Sudhir has received gold medal in undergraduate from the branch of biotechnology from Andhra University. He has 6+ years of experience as a machine learning engineer at IBM. His works primarily focus on building data model and analytic engine using R, Python, Scala, SAS, and IBM Watson. He has also been awarded by MHRD for being one amongst the top 100 students in his district. He has received Manager Choice Award at IBM. Mr. Sudhir has also given lecture in Anna University and Amrita University on the topic like quantum computing and fundamental of data science. So before the webinar starts, I would request audience to feel free to send us your questions and we would be happy to answer them towards the end of the webinar. So this webinar is being recorded and the link of the webinar and the slides will be available after the presentation is over. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Sudhir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now is the time for giving the screen to Sudhir. Sudhir, over to you for your introduction and for the wonderful session ahead.
Thank you, Uma. I don't see your screen share.
One second. Looks like somebody else actually was sharing. So one moment. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, it's loading. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, one and all. I am Sudhir. I'm a part of CSR team IBM. So we are here to just introduce the concept of data analytics to you. But behind this, why we are doing is, I think Uma has given you the brief intro what we are doing as part of corporate social responsibility from IBM. So I would like to ask everyone to focus on this session. Why? Because there will be some points where I'll be highlighting which at student level you might need to focus on to develop your skills in data analytics. So I have been working in IBM since 6.5 years, and even I was working in some other technology which I have moved to data analytics because of my academic background. I was into I have completed my industrial engineering master's degree from Anna University. So where I have got my proper statistical background to work on data analytics. So from there on, it has pulled me to work towards data analytics, and I have started my career in IBM to work in data analytics. I see Mohit Agarwal presenting it. Can you please stop, Mohit?
May I kindly request everyone to let me present. Mohit, kindly exit and come back. Are you able to see my screen, Nagarajan sir?
No, ma'am.
Mohit, kindly exit.
Now you can share, ma'am.
Yes. That stop sharing goes off the minute somebody starts presenting.
This is the problem, madam. Whenever anybody share, you have to
Yeah,
represent.
that's okay, sir. Not an issue. Go ahead. Sudhir, go ahead.
Uma?
Yeah, go ahead, Sudhir. Sudhir.
Uma, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please, you're in the agenda screen. Go ahead.
Still, I don't see a screen.
Nagarajan sir, can you see?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
visible bit.
Yes.
Yeah, it is in the agenda slide, Sudhir. Go ahead. Sudhir, agenda slide is on. Go ahead.
Madam, he has left the meeting. He will
Okay.
rejoin, I think.
So I will continue with what the agenda is for the benefit of time. So today we are going to basically deal with what is data, what is analytics, what actually is data analytics, because this is a combination of data and analytics, and then why we need data analytics, and where all we will be actually applying the data analytics. Why? Because unless we know what data is and what analytics is, we cannot understand how this combination works, and also what are the kind of activities we can do using data analytics. And then the most important part, the roles and jobs in data analytics. What are the different types of use cases that we have? What are the tools available for data analytics? So these are the few things that we are going to look forward. So please let me know when he is back so that he can take over.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is data? Data is basically simple facts or figures. It's bits of information, right? Each single transaction that we do. For example, I just go buy something, okay? Buy groceries. That also is the data. For the grocery store, it is the data of a customer. For me, it is the data of expenditure. What I bought is the data of the product. How I paid is the data of a transaction payment. Like that. Every single transaction, every single activity, every bit of event that happens in our life is data. So data is simply but the facts and figures that we encounter in day-to-day effect. So it's bits and pieces of information. And when this data is organized, processed, and interpreted, structured to make meaningful or useful information, it is called complete information that can be used for some logical analysis. Data can be images. All of us load so many photographs on social media, right?
Ma'am,
So
Sudhir.
with that, what happens? There are a lot of images, sounds, videos. All this becomes digital data, right? What we see in our Facebook, with that, the face identification technology came up because there is available data. And you can continue. And all this data is actually measurable. It's reported in a structure. It's analyzed in a right way. Why do we need to analyze? We need to understand what data is relevant to whom. We cannot just take all the junk data, the data that is enormously available for using, right? For example, if you look at YouTube, there are millions and millions of videos, and millions of people actually access that. They do likes, they do comment, they do stream the videos, they upload, they download, all that activity happens. Does it, all this data that is getting captured in the backend has to be used for somebody. A small example how this is used. For example, if you look at a billboard of a big music company, they'll come up with data of who is the best artist selling, who is the best album that is actually making money. All that is only able to be arrived at when the data in the raw format is reported, and using some kind of ETL tools or something, they actually analyze the data in a structured way that can be used. There can be structured or unstructured data, and also the data can be discrete and continuous. Sudhir, do you want to take over? Okay. So what is analytics? Analytics is nothing but a method of understanding, identifying, or interpreting the hidden pattern in the data for effective decision making. For example, a small example that I want to give you is in Facebook. I'm just going and searching for a particular book, all right, or to buy on an Amazon portal. I'm just going to go and see for buying a book of a specific genre. What happens, the more I search something specific to my interest, the analytics in the backend will act in such a way that it throws me information related to similar books, books of the same author, books of the same genre, or books of the same price value. It depends upon my interest. So basically, the analytics in the backend act in such a way that there is a pattern of the consumer behavior that is being notified, and it makes me help in decision making, right? So what is data analytics? You have data in its raw format, and then you have the analytics, which is a technology that
Okay,
is.
can I take over?
Yes, Sudhir, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry guys for this bad network. So let me tell you from data, I just want to brief out. So data is anything that gives you an information about what you wanted to do. Say if you start speaking to your friend, if he tells you some information, even that can act as data. And analytics. Analytics is something where you analyze the information that you got. Say the best example I can give you where you might have already applied analytics is when you are doing your mini project. What do? You get some data, or you search in Google about different papers, and you do some analytics, prior analytics, where you want to understand the problem statement and you start framing your project. That's where analysis starts, a simple analysis at your level. And coming to data analytics, so what we do, the analysis that we do on data is not only manually, but there will be usage of statistics, to be precise. Because when you analyze something, what you're going to do is you're going to understand the distribution of the data. Or say like you are searching some papers for your mini project. So let's say you're doing in on data science. Now what you might do is you might search for different papers who worked on different kinds of analytics. I'll tell you about those analytics. Say some papers can be on predictive analysis, some on inferential statistics. So different topics in analytics can be there for on different papers. So if you check the distribution, there can be 100 papers on each. So then that gives you an idea where how most work has been done in analytics. So primarily the take is for data analytics, statistics is much needed. That's the takeaway from this slide. Okay, next slide, please. So after understanding analytics, why we do that, I mean, what it is, there are three different types of analytics, namely descriptive, prescriptive, and the last one is predictive. It is not descriptive again. So let's analytics. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yes, descriptive analytics identify what has happened. I have given you an example where you are.
So basically, it's about the average test score of the class, or average mean of the population statistics that you look at. What has actually happened? Descriptive is basically a description of the data in a statistical way, right? Sudhir, are you back? And okay. So prescriptive analysis is inferential statistics. Based on certain data, you actually interpret what should we do. For example, whether we accept a batch of a product, or whether we don't accept that product, it depends upon the prescriptive analysis. Then we come to predictive analysis. What is predictive analysis? Based on the descriptive analysis and on the prescriptive analysis and on the history of the data, we come up with predictive analysis. Why do we need predictive analysis? To understand the market trends, to understand the economy, how these analytics can be used going forward in making forecast for sales, for forecast for our revenue, how the projects may actually happen in the due course, what kind of changes the economy may go through. All this predictive analysis can be done based on the data that is available and using the predictive statistics. What can actually happen? Sudhir, over to you on predictive analysis. Okay, going ahead, why data analytics? We already discussed this briefly, and we are also going to see why we do need data analytics, right? Data analytics are required mostly for our decisions. Why? Because whatever has happened, it is giving us lessons to understand what we need to decide going forward. Whether you're going to manufacture a product or buy a product, whether you're going to outsource a activity or you're doing it by yourself, all these decisions are made based on the data that is available.
I'm back, Uma.
Okay, go ahead with the data analytics effectiveness.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Why we are using this data analytics is for cost reduction. I can tell you. When you do some analysis or you do some work, why we are doing is to automate that, or we want to analyze more and understand how it is behaving, and you want to take some decisions. If you take the example what I have quoted you earlier, where you are doing research work for your mini project, you will go for different papers, and what you are taking in the last, you might take a decision on your research that which paper will help for your mini project. That's what is even where even the market is using data analytics. There is a lot of data, but they want to understand what is that data and they want to take a decision on that. So primarily data analytics is used for making proper decision making and enhance the business. That's why we are doing this data analytics. Next slide, please, Uma. Now here are some list of applications where we can easily connect to these applications. If you see the Google Maps, every day almost we use this. When you go out, if you see there are some red lines and green lines you observe in the mobile app. What it is doing, Google is actually capturing the data of the traffic and it is telling you which is the best route to reach your destination. That's the best application where analytics has been used. And coming to self-driving cars, again, self-driving car is a car. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Sudhir.
Okay. Yeah, self-driving cars are where we need not actually drive. They are even using data analytics here also. How they are doing is they are training the car that if some obstacle is before you, you need to slow down. Or if it is about to meet an accident, how it should get rescued itself from that. So this is how even there also data analytics is being used. They are training it using different images and videos. Next slide, please.
And we can also talk about how Google Maps work, right? The entire Google Maps is because the data analytics, even a small street that is coming in newly, or if it's getting renamed, or getting extended, immediately Google picks up because there is a huge number of people working in the analytics field where they keep the Google Maps up to date, right? So you can strongly believe the maps and go into remote areas where you are not even familiar with the terrain. So this Google Maps actually helps right now, even in our every segment of the industry, because it has actually made the globe an easy travel spot for everybody. Yeah, go ahead with the recommendation engine.
Yeah. Recommendation engine, I can tell you these are again smart apps. So if many of you might have already used the Fitbits, which is released by MI. What they are doing, it is capturing how long you have walked and all. So in the same way, these recommendation engines are the ones which are working behind. So if you have walked 3 kilometers today, and if you have not reached your target of 5 kilometers, it is going to suggest that you need to do some more walking. And even if there are some healthcare apps where they are suggesting better nutrition for your health. There are some recommendation engines, I can tell you. Even I will tell you one of the use case going forward in the next slide, where YouTube is also using the recommendation engine. Let's park this recommendation engine application aside. We'll understand more about it. And going to games, smart games. If you play a chess game, what it is doing, you are actually playing with a computer. It is not a normal computer that is playing with you. It is a cognitive computer that's playing with you. Based on the moves you do, the next move from the computer will vary. So that's how even the computers are trained to play against you. There also data is used for data analytics and a game is developed. These are cognitive games, I can tell you. Next slide, please. Come on.
Yeah, the decision making slide on big data dashboard. Sudhir, okay, so what happens here in the big data dashboard, just like how Sudhir was mentioning, the entire data gets translated. For example, if you look at the example I gave of a YouTube, the number of clicks, and then the data is structured in such a way using the ETL technology or any other machine learning technologies and converted into dashboards. Dashboards are presentable, understandable, logical format of data. So the big data comes into picture using this raw data restructured in such a way that we can actually come out with analysis of who is trending, who is actually doing great. Go ahead, Sudhir. And the data actually translates it. The data actually gets translated in such a way that we can understand what the dashboards project. For example, the sales data. The sales data gives an indication the consumer behavior in a particular region, right? In certain geographical area, there may be more consumption of particular products. How do you come to this arrival of understanding of consumer behavior? Only when the data is structured in such a way that you can make decisions. The decisions will help you to produce better products, produce products in such a way that there is demand and you don't end up supplying products that are no longer needed in the market. For example, if somebody is today producing radios, will there be any demand for it? No. With the evolution, we understood that even the normal cameras are not in demand anymore, except for professional usage. Why? Because everybody is now using phone cameras. So all these decisions will be made in understanding the data available. So looking at the activities in the data analytics, there are 5 major areas that we need to understand. First and foremost, it is data extraction. Data extraction is nothing but consolidating, fetching the data from various databases. For example, I'll give you a small understandable example of our household, right? How do we understand what we spend, what we earn at home, or how much your parents are spending every day? How do you understand that? When they put a log of day to day what expenditure they are making, right? So there is some kind of a journal that your parents maintain at home, documenting the data of the transactions. This is nothing but a database. In a business or a corporate world or in an industry, what we do is we all have journals, and these journals provide data which is called as huge databases. On the technology, we have major Oracle database, the database that actually has storage of data. Then comes to data analysis. You observe the data, you observe the pattern of the data using certain statistical tools. You come up with understanding how the consumer behavior is, how the data is actually making a difference, how this particular data is coming up as a regular pattern with a regular frequency, and then you start analyzing that data. This is called observing the data. I would say in life, if you are choosing an IT as a career, at least once for 6 months, at least in your entire career, do testing. Why I say is testing gives you exorbitant observation skills of identifying the gaps. This is what will make you more stronger in identifying business solutions. So for the data analysis, the first and foremost aspect will be to observe the data. Critical thinking of the data is very important. Then manipulation. The entire data that we see today is highly manipulated, especially if you look at the media industry. The entire data, that because of the TRP ratings, the data is put in such a way that it attracts more and more people. However, this data manipulation can have lot of impact in the social changes that we see around us. So understanding how the data can be manipulated, a small video, for example, the TRP driven media will only pick what they require, right? They don't put the entire video for you to understand. They just pick up the one sentence where somebody spoke something bad, and then they manipulate the entire data. So for you as a data analyst, it's very important that you actually understand how this data works. And data modeling. Data modeling is a structured way of fitting the data into a model that can be further used. Then data visualization is actually visualizing the data that even laymen can actually understand it. So what happens is when you visualize the data, it is much more easier for you to understand what's happening. Right? So you come up with dashboards, you come up with reports, you come up with Excel spreadsheets, put pivot tables, you actually put presentable data format for management and leadership to make decisions. So it's very important on how this data is visualized.
Yeah. Okay, Uma,
Yes.
can I? Yes. So after understanding these activities, this is the right thing that most of the people you might be interested in, how to start develop your career in data analytics. So so there are different steps you have seen in data analytics, right? So for each step, there are different engineers there are different roles who does that. So for data fetching, a data engineer is involved. And for analyzing the data, an analyst is there. For developing a model, a data modeler. And a data scientist is one who identifies the patterns in your data. Say while working, it is not obvious that your data will be always good. That's say like when you're collecting the population data, I mean the census data, there will be some people who are not ready to share the data. So in that time, what will happen? There will be a missing data. But while doing your analysis, you cannot go ahead simply without using those missing values. You need to manipulate your data. That's what you do in manipulation step. And data scientist, right? He will be identifying different patterns in your data, and he'll suggest you which algorithm that you can use. And full stack developer, he is the one who is expert in all these activities, whatever listed above, those four. So let's go to the next slide and see what data engineer needs. So a data engineer requires good skill in SQL. So SQL is the structured query language, where he should be very strong in querying the appropriate data required. Once the data is required data is fetched by data engineer, the next role goes to data analyst. Next slide, Uma. Yes, data analyst. The data fetched is now analyzed by data analyst. He also will identify some patterns, but a data analyst is not as capable as data scientist. A data scientist is very strong use on or how you can start working on your.
Sudhir, I think your line is breaking up. So data scientist is like any other scientist who uses research and understands the data to give innovative solutions, right? That is what a scientist does. So they are as rare as unicorns. They are very, very highly valued. This particular profession as a data scientist is much valued because people are struggling with the data overload, and they're not.
I'll be that.
Yeah. Sudhir, we are not able to hear you. So basically, the data scientist will be somebody who's very creative, very curious, very analytical in their abilities, and they will be using distributed computing, predictive modeling, storytelling and visualizing, and also math and statistics and machine learning. Why we need all these skill sets is because a data scientist is not only valued high, but also been regarded as somebody who can give business solutions that are critical for the current trends. So they are always innovative tips, and they organize the data. They are the people who help the architecture team to come up with the high level designs, low level designs, so that the products can be designed in such a way that they actually serve the purpose of the customer. So that's the role of data scientist. So looking at the various roles that are available in data analytics, it's portfolio analyst. For example, what is a portfolio? Portfolio, for example, if you look at an FMCG company like Parle Agro, right? Parle Agro produces biscuits. Parle Agro produces a lot of consumption products that we use, like Fruity, the packaged drinks, the Tetra Packs that we use, everything. How do they analyze their portfolio? How, for example, let's take much more better example like Amul, right? Amul is known for butter, but Amul also sells milk, ghee, various other products. So all these products become a portfolio when they are put at a very high level. In that portfolio, they will analyze which product is making much bigger revenue, which product is actually reaching more consumers, which product is basically in demand. How do they do that? They use the data analytics using portfolio analyst who will only focus on the products at a portfolio level. Campaign analyst basically is somebody who does lot of marketing activity. These are the people who actually penetrate into the market, take data, they fetch the data, they do research and analysis on it, and provide a campaign agenda. Campaign agenda will basically focus on what is the current need, what will sell, what will not sell, who are our target audience, what is the value we are going to give to this target audience. All this comes from a campaign analyst. HR and people analysts are the general HR people who actually relate themselves on what is the needs of people, what is the normal salaries that are given to certain people, what is the roles of the jobs that need to be in an industry, what is a growth map, what is the balance between diversity and regular employees in a company. All this analysis is done by a HR or a people analyst. Why? Because every other segment that you see in the screen is related to people. Ultimately, every product or a service produced in this world is for the benefit of people. So the HR or the people analyst becomes very, very important. Then coming to pricing analyst. Who is a pricing analyst? Somebody who understands the product, who understands the market conditions, who understands the finance aspects. For example, there is a book, right? For example, I am a first-time author and I am writing some book which is a very, very valued book, and I feel that okay, I can price this book 1,000 rupees. Do you think somebody will buy that? Because I don't have a history of being an author. So how am I going to sell? So the market financial analyst and the pricing analyst work together. They will identify whether this particular genre, this particular author, this particular subject of the book will be sold for so and so price. So they may come back to me and say, no, Ma, this cannot happen at 1,000 rupees. Why don't you market at 399, which is reasonable for this kind of a genre, for the first time author, and the market can be better for you. If I ignore a pricing analyst and still go ahead and fix a price for my product at 1,000 rupees, I may not even have 10 customers, right? So a pricing analyst is very, very important to analyze the right price for the product at the right time in the market. It's okay that when there is a high demand, the product pricing can be more. But in a place where the demand is uncertain, then the inputs from the pricing analyst becomes very, very important. So what I'm saying is you can take any domain for that matter, right? It can be finance industry, it can be marketing, it can be shipping, it can be logistics, any industry if you take, you need to be having a data analyst who supports that particular role and responsibility. Finance analyst is somebody who keeps track of year-on-year profits. How did we do January last year? Can we expect the same results this year, January? How did we do last June, July? Things are no longer the same this year due to pandemic. So what do we need to do differently? All this analysis is done by a finance analyst who will be also having a domain expertise from a finance background. They will give you inputs and the technical team will work with them and come out with certain analysis which will make feasible decision making. For example, I am over ambitious and I say, no, whatever profits we achieved in the last June, no matter what, we should get this year. If I tell that, I will be a fool because the situation is different. So for every stage and every segment, there have to be a financial analyst who has to support. Why we are giving you these examples is depending upon your interest, depending upon your skill set and your technology, you can actually become any of this, right? So we are telling you, don't restrict yourself only for IT, only for technology space, but also try to learn domain knowledge parallelly. Understand whichever domain you want to, go ahead. Understand how it works. For example, you may go ahead and take up a PG course in something different or an MBA from one of the premier institutes in India. That time you have to be very, very careful in choosing based on your skill set and understanding and interest more than everything else. Coming to security. Security is very important in current day situation because all of us are in a digital era. The transformation technologies are new and emerging, and there is a lot of scope for people to actually produce malware attacks, create havoc, do hacking, which may destroy finance domain, like that. So a security analyst is somebody who observes a pattern and takes it forward. For example, I have a bank account and I am a person who generally swipes my card for 5,000, 10,000 rupees. But one fine day, I go to a GRT kind of a shop, which is a gold shop, and swipe my card for 2 lakhs. Immediately, what happens? My banker calls within 10 minutes and checks, ma'am, are you the one who swiped the card now? Are you the one who's actually using this transaction right now? Why? Because how did they know? Because they have been observing a pattern. There is a data analytics working in the background of the risk and compliance team based on the consumer pattern behavior. And if something strange happens, immediately they give an alert. For example, Sudhir gives a very good example for this actually. I am swiping my card in India, in Chennai, but within an hour, the same card has another transaction in North America. Is it practically possible? It is not possible, right? If I have an ATM withdrawal in Chennai and another ATM withdrawal in Detroit, is it practically possible? No, which means that there is some kind of a security breach. So that is what the duty of a security analyst is in a financial world, especially in a digital world. It becomes very, very important that the security analysts keep a tab on everything. All of us are digital personalities. We do have a digital presence, and somebody can even fake our own accounts and act like they are us, right? So understanding between the real and the fake is very important, and security analyst actually helps in identifying all those kind of mishaps. Okay. So coming to the online marketing analyst, this again, based on the surveys, based on the research and a lot of data that is available, this online marketing analyst will actually give us inputs on how a digital marketing can be done using SEO, during the data analytics, during either the kind of social media tools that you use, either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Snapchat, what is that you can actually penetrate to your end user? There is an option called boost a page in every page of a Facebook or an Instagram, where you see that the marketing analyst gives you a target audience like under 25 or young India. These are the sites where there is lot of population, right? So how does we know what products they need? If you go and give something which is of a 1970s product to the current generation, they may not even see it. So your online marketing analysts give the existing trends in the market, and marketing operation analyst gives you a focus on what kind of marketing strategies that you can come up, what you can actually do to penetrate your product in the market. Sudhir, are you back? Okay. So we also look at product analyst, very similar to a pricing or a portfolio analyst, who does an understanding on how this product actually can, whether it can first survive, whether it can succeed, and if it has to succeed or survive, what do they need to do? Excel analyst, basically who manages data using an Excel and also comes up with different patterns. A statistician is one of the most key roles of data analytics, because statistics is not just a subject in our schools and colleges, but it is a very efficient tool that is been playing a major role in understanding and doing data analytics. And then we come to a web analyst, a data scientist, a fraud or a risk analyst, in terms with the security analyst on what kind of firewalls you need, what kind of security compliance rule books that you have to come up, what kind of knowledge that you have to actually put into the system. It's like, you're replicating your mind to the system, right? That is what artificial intelligence and machine learning does. So what kind of statistics that go into it? And then coming to the CRM and a SQL part, database marketing. There are plenty of people who actually take your data and sell it as a marketing, for the marketing purpose. So there are data analysts, database analysts, and SaaS programmers. Is Sudhir back, sir?
Uma, please go on. When Sudhir comes up, we'll inform you.
Okay, thank you. So use cases, we will look into the use cases at a larger extent, right? Aadhaar is one of the most secured system. As far as we know, all of us, 99% of Indians are now on Aadhaar. So it has to be the most biggest secured system of data. Imagine somebody breaching on that, right? The entire Indian database is gone for a task. So it's very important that the Aadhaar case has the data analytics playing a major role, because it takes biometrics of each and every Indian, and the database is so strong that we can analyze from this Aadhaar database on how many people are living in particular area, what is the voting population, what is the age groups that we have, how many people are in the taxation segment, how many people are below 18, how many people are retired class. All this comes into handy using this particular database. It's so important for the government of India to make right decisions. It's not a small thing, right? When you have 130 crores of population, which is almost 7.5% of the world population, it is very important that we have a robust system, right? This is similarly in line with the SSN that we have in United States, the Social Security Network, which actually helps the people in giving back lot of things, and policy level changes of the government are depending upon the data analysis that come out of using Aadhaar data. YouTube, I have already mentioned you, like every click, every video, every artist who's uploading, downloading is actually money for somebody, right? How many clicks, how many downloads, how many views, all this translate as money for people who are actually. Why is this craziness today for people asking you to subscribe to their channels? There is a lot of negative publicity for the channels, which are becoming more and more popular. So all this happens because the recommendations that the system throws, depending upon what channels that you generally use. For example, if I'm a devotional person and I go and click some devotional songs or a Carnatic music, it keeps throwing me video recommendations using the recommendation engine on similar videos that I can stream and see. Similarly, it also gives me the data of the time that we spend on this social media. Let me take a minute to pause and tell you, friends, it's very important. All of us need to have the digital presence and be social media uh, influencers. Not necessarily everybody can be an influencer, but a participant. But it is very, very important to check a tab on what is the time you spend, because that has a direct reflection on your productivity. And also, these kind of channels used for advertising purpose, right? For example, if one good movie uh, getting released on a YouTube will have more advertising. Why? Because that is how they make money here. And also it entertains the users, and it also says who is popular, who is trending, who can actually become an influencer, etc. BMW is one of the classic technology examples that we have, where the sensors are installed in the car to monitor the condition of the vehicle, right? So they just mentioned about self-driving cars. Of course, practically,
Jimmy.
the world is not yet there. However, the BMW
Pure.
however, the BMW is one classic example where the data is continuously monitored and analyzed so that the car, which is just a non-human product, also behaves like a human being. So the customer is contacted whenever the car needs service. All of us who own vehicles, right? We get calls from our service center saying your car is, 3 years old, 5 years old, or 6 months back you service. This is the time you have to come and do the oil check or whatever. So all this happens depending upon the data that is available for the service centers or for the product owners for that matter. So it basically helps in identifying fraudulent banking transactions like the one I mentioned about a gold purchase, determining a defaulter using issuing a credit card. Um, for example, there is something called a CIBIL rating, which rates depending upon your finance and banking background, how much of money you get, how much of money you spend, how many. Of course, check defaulting is a crime today, but how many payments you have delayed while paying an EMI. All this will become your credit value, right? And the CIBIL gives a report saying where do you stand in your credit rating. But tomorrow, if you're going for a bank loan for your further study or for a home loan, your credit rating will be dependent. So please use your credit cards diligently, and any default on your credit card payments is not just a one-time affair. It will actually reflect on your financial presence in the industry. So please be very careful when you are dealing with your credit card or how you are spending your money. Then advertising a brand on t-shirts. We have seen lot of branding happening. Our own Chennai Super Kings
What we
is
promise.
Kumar, please go on mute. So we have been seeing a lot of branding happens. Chennai Super Kings from India Cements have a huge branding on their own t-shirts, right? So all that is also data. No longer branding or marketing is happening in a traditional way. People are finding ways and means to penetrate into the market. And then the customer churn in telecommunications. At one point of time, we only had Singtel gateway that actually provided communication to whole of India. But with the advent of the telecommunication satellites, India is proud to have several of our own satellites today sitting on the orbit and giving us a absolutely wonderful telecommunication. Today, the entire network is so strong that across India that we see, even villages are having the internet facility. So all this actually translates back to the data. How does this data work? The data distribution in telecommunication depends upon the need. For example, there is more of data that is being shared with metropolitan cities, the more of data being actually shared with the government offices, because their databases are much more bigger than anybody else, right? So and for our defense systems, the data has to be 100% accurate. So when you look at The data distribution, even from the satellites, is channeled depending upon not only the consumer behavior, but on the need for security, need for existence, need for future. And that is how the data analytics operate. So coming to the tools available in data analytics for data extraction, there is a data stage, Informatica, R, Python, and SAS. Kumar or Sudhir, do you want to add anything on the slide? Okay, for students, I would recommend go and verify on these tools because they are very important and they can actually help you learn to write coding, take up developing, and also become data experts, right? For data analysis and modeling, we use Python, R, SAS, SPSS, IBM Watson. IBM Watson is one computer which has challenged the chess masters of the world. Of course, failed a couple of times, but they are the most cognitive tools that we can see around. Then MATLAB, Statistica, Vika, and of course our own favorite MS Excel, right? How much ever tools may come, MS Office still becomes a handy tool for all of us working in the IT industry today. Our presentations still are on MS presentation, and Microsoft PowerPoint is what we use extensively, and Microsoft Excel is always a savior for an individual consumer. Coming to the data analytics, the data visualization, these are few of the reporting tools we have, and foremost, the best of it that I have used is Cognos reporting and Excel reporting, and also Domo. So when you look at Cognos reporting, what happens is, for example, in a Universal Music Group where I worked earlier, the entire data from YouTube or various other sources used to be picked up in a raw format, then processed through a ETL tool, and the entire final reporting used to happen through a Cognos dashboards. So the Cognos actually puts the data in a format, a structural visualized format that can be understandable by a layman. For example, people sitting at the leadership level in UMG may not be able to actually understand if a spreadsheet of all the raw data is thrown at them. But if that same thing is put up in a dashboard or a chart or a pivot table or a bar graph, it is very easy for us to view and understand what it represents. The data visualization is not anything but a absolute representation of the data in a format that can make logical decisions, that can give a structured visualization, that can provide you different aspects of the analytics where your decision making can be done. It is cost effective because it is a one-time investment. You can reuse all the tools. So the various tools available for visualization are Cognos, ClickView, Tabular, Excel, R, Python, Geon, Domo, BERT, Japper, and lot many are coming up. So with that, we come to the end of the presentation here. So I will give it to the question and answer session, and also we will be able to address anything that comes up. So over to you, Sudhir and everyone, please.
Santosh, you can take up the question answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Some questions are coming in.
Sure,
like, what is data cleansing?
Okay. Data
Very
cleansing. Yeah, go ahead, Kumar.
Very good question. Okay, the data cleansing is what is cleanup. Okay, in simple words, data is generally in abundant. When I take and if I have to process the same big, huge data, you know, the time it takes to do the processing is too much. So if I can remove a certain set of data which is not needed for me, and then I do the process, it makes my process works more faster, or my code works more faster. So removing all data away from the huge data set and retaining only the data I need, the process is called cleansing. I hope that helps.
Okay. Now, next question is coming from Harshit Gaur, and The question is explain data modeling.
I'm sorry, Uma, I got disconnected for a minute. May I know
Explain
what is
data
the next
modeling.
question?
Explain data modeling.
Okay. When you go to the share market, okay, I will give you with an example. When you go to the share market, or when you take a Excel file, simple Microsoft Excel file, and when you see too many rows and columns that are there in your Excel file, does it make any meaning for you? It might, to a particular level. But when I take that entire data which is there in the Excel file, and when I build a beautiful bar diagram, okay, so does the diagram make any meaning for you? It makes more meaning than the data. So data modeling is a form of presentation of data to the viewers, to whoever it may be. Santosh, I hope that helps you.
Yeah. The next question is, what is the market share of SPSS?
Okay, so first of all, children, I think when you saw the deck that was going on, there are, I will try to help you in a different way. There are top 3 players in the market. One, I think, Uma, if you can share the deck once again. One will be Python, which is a very old guy, and it is a software development language. Python and R are the top players in the market. SPSS is a kind of an interface which is coming up from IBM. It is a really extensively used across a lot of companies, because in Python or in R, you need to create models. But when you use SPSS, those are all inbuilt. It's just drag and drop, put a few menus, click, 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 tabal, and your report is ready. So SPSS is a very growing up application. It is a newbie in the market, you can say that way, but it is very extremely used in, as on today, across a lot of organizations.
I would like to correct you that SPSS, I think it was built in India.
I don't know where it was
Yeah.
built, but it's a product.
Yeah, it was built in India, and it was by a person or some guys from Bangalore, and later on it has been say to IBM. Okay, next question is, what is the difference between machine learning engineer and data analyst? Because most of the students have just passed out the 4th year and they just want to be in the data analyst.
Machine learning is a completely different branch. Machine learning actually comes under a subject called cognitive computing. Okay, so it's a totally different branch. Data analysis is a different branch altogether. Data analytics, data science, all this are a family which deals with, I have too much data, how do I use it? That is called data science or data analytics or whatever this family. Machine learning is how I make the computer system to start learning from the data available, from what we feed it. That is machine learning. I hope, Santosh, that helps.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Principal sir, would you like to say something?
There was one other question on the open source software for multivariate analysis. There is a QStudio metrics that you can look at. It's a free open source software. The software is able to run PCA and PLS using the Nepal's algorithm. So it's able to actually run linear discriminant analysis. So check into that. There was one question around that from Pankaj.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam. Today, it is altogether a different session. The entire CSR team has contributed for the successful conduct of today's session. I sincerely thank Uma Sri Raghunath madam for nicely take over this session and You have given different dimension for today's session. And my special thanks to Sudhir, in spite of his, the remote place, he is trying to connect often. Really, I'm thankful to Sudhir. And finally,
Kumar.
Kumarasamy. Thank you, Kumarasamy sir, for your valuable question answer session. I'm looking forward to attend your upcoming session. Really, we have enjoyed your IBM series, madam. I am getting a lot of positive feedback from almost all the participants. It's an overwhelming response from all over country and outside country also. So my request to CSR team, I have received a few requests from my participants. They are expecting few sessions on ethical hacking and cyber security. So if possible, please arrange a session on.
Sure, sir. Wow, thank you so much. And first of all, let me apologize for the technical glitches we had today. And thank you for bearing with me because this was unexpected. So, and this is the first time he's doing webinars for a college crowd. So we thought like it will be a great thing to actually pull in. And also, I want to tell you, even if you're students from remotest of places in India, please have that confidence to learn. People like Sudhir are from a classic example to show that, they have that niche and passion to learn, and they can come up to a corporate like IBM. So this was an absolute attempt to encourage youngsters. So each one of you may become an expert tomorrow. So learning is the only way to succeed in life, and continuous learning and hard work. There is nothing, no shortcut to success than these two. So thank you for bearing with us today, sir, and the entire team here on the technical glitches we had. That is the reason that me and Kumar had to stand by, and Josika did a very good back-end coordination helping us. So once again, please accept our apologies for all the technical issues.
No, madam. It is totally different session. We had a different experience today.
And we will be glad.
Positive way.
I will be presenting the blockchain, and Kumar is going to help me on the Q&A part, as well as take up the overall, wherever, come up with the classic examples. So looking forward. And coming to the ethical hacking and cyber security, I have already reached out to our partners from ISACA who have been certified security specialists. So I'll be getting the confirmation in a day or two, and I will pass on the message to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, and thanks a lot. We take leave now. See you again next week. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Right now, I'm sharing the attendance link and post-webinar WhatsApp group link in the chat box. I request all the participants to fill their attendance.
Sir, link is not working.
The link is not working, sir.
Please activate the link, sir. The activation is off, sir. That's why that is not getting used.
Sir, if you're not able to fill your attendance, please join our WhatsApp group and Telegram channel. I will share the link in that group.
Okay, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Sir, please share your WhatsApp group link. Hello. Feedback link is not working right now. Hello.